Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, July 14th. It is 6:16 right now. Market's going to open in about 14 minutes. So I'm going to go ahead and set this room real quick and we'll get started shortly with our analysis for today. I've got a couple of things here to update and we should be good to go. So let's see. A few more things here. Good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys. In the premium. All right, looks like we are good to go. All right, I'll get a few moments for people to make their way in. And we will get started shortly. All right, as people join in, I'm going to go ahead and start marking liquidity over here. Start on the daily time frame. Zoom out a bit. Marking up the daily liquidity over here. It's the 8-hour. I'm just going to mark up the nearest liquidity. There's no need to mark up everything. So, all right, guys, morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, July 14th. It is 6:19 right now. Market's going to open in about 11 minutes. So I'll get a few more moments for people to make their way in, and I'm going to continue marking up liquidity here so that we're ready once the market actually opens. There's a lot of liquidity around here. I miss liquidity kind of all over the place. As you guys remember, the market was moving kind of weird yesterday. Hopefully it starts to move a lot smoother today. I just realized, guys, I didn't start marking up. Sorry, I gotta do this all over again. Sorry, I'm gonna do this real quick. I just realized that I forgot to change the color of the liquidity, so they were all blue. I'm gonna do it again real quick. It's not gonna take that long. So, and I'm only gonna mark up the nearby levels anyway, so I'm not gonna go too far down. I don't know what I was thinking. I just noticed that I started marking everything up. Kodi marked up right there. Marked up there. 2 hour. One hour. And now let's change the color for the 30-minute. $15-minute. And lastly, the 10-minute time frame. All right, looks good, guys. So, all right, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. Today's Friday, July 14th. It is 6:21 right now. Market's gonna open in about 8 minutes. Let me see who's here so far. Morning, Johnny. Morning, Casey. Morning, Jamie. Morning, CJ. Morning, Saren. Morning, Purity. Morning, Maria. Morning, Rashida. Morning, Daniel. Morning, Dan. Morning, Kevin. Morning, everybody. All right, guys. So hopefully everyone had a great trading week so far. I mean, we had a pretty solid week. I had one small loss yesterday, but it wasn't a big deal. It was like a couple $100 compared to all the wins that we had this week so far. One announcement that I wanted to make, I talked with a couple of the main guys here. And I think my main focus is going to be on the momentum. Let me just refresh this. The momentum pullback scalp. The 1 hour strategy works very well. There was an entry right here at 5 o'clock, full TP, entry at 6 o'clock, full TP. The entries were good. The thing with this is that I started to realize that when I started applying this, I was on the chart like all day. And that's the opposite of what I want to do. I don't want to be on the chart at all. I just want to be on the chart when I'm trading. And that's pretty much it. So I'm not going to continue working on this strategy here. I'll still follow it and I'll mark it up when it comes up. I'm not really going to make I'm not going to put too much focus on the strategy right now. The way that it works very well. The only downside is that we haven't figured out a good stop loss to use because the market volatility isn't always very high, right? Sometimes you'll be holding on to the position for a couple minutes, sometimes you'll be holding on to it for a couple hours, and it's just not the type of strategy that I personally want to be focused on, because I don't want to be on my phone at all hours of the day looking to trade, right? I just want to focus on what I'm doing here on the live session, and that's pretty much it. So the strategy is still good. It's a good strategy. It's a great strategy. The only problem is that it has such a wide stop loss, and it's just taking too much time for me to figure out what am I going to adjust that to, at least not until like the fall. So during the summer, I'm not going to work on the 1 hour strategy anymore. It still works fine. It's great. It works. The only problem is that when you do have a loss, it sets you back quite a bit, right? So that's why I'd rather just focus on this momentum pullback scalp, because for this strategy here, you're able to cut your losses, and your losses aren't that big. So you can have a small loss like we did yesterday for 4 points. You can have one win, you can make right back plus profit. So I just want to give you guys a heads up there if you guys are wondering about the 1 hour strategy. There's nothing wrong with the strategy. It's just I don't want to be on my screen every hour looking for a 1 hour entry. It's just, yeah, I just started realizing it started taking up a lot of my time. And that's the opposite of why I got into trading. I got into trading to have freedom of time and to just trade in the morning, 6:30 to 8, and be done with it. So yeah, if you guys want to keep applying the 1 hour strategy, go ahead. I'll look for the entries when they do come up, but I'm not going to be working on it. So if you guys are looking for updates on the strategy, there's not going to be any updates, maybe not until like the fall or the winter, once the volatility picks up. Because once the volatility picks up, we can understand where the stop loss should be. Right now it's set at 400. It's kind of wide, but it works. So as long as you take enough of these entries, you should be perfectly fine. You can eat a loss here and there, but you have to take a lot of these entries because you need at least 4 of them to cover. So versus the momentum pullback scalp where you just need like 1 to cover, really. You don't really need much to cover. So anyways, just want to give you guys that heads up just so that you guys are aware. The strategy still works fine. I'm just not going to be focusing on it too much. The main strategy I'll be focusing on is this momentum pullback scalp. Anyways, let's take a look at the news for today. There was news over here at 5:30. Import prices low impact at 5:30. So I'm just going to mark that up real quick. I think that was it, 5:30 today. So we had news over here, 5:30. I'm going to mark that up. It's not going to be a huge impact. It's a low impact news event, so not really a big deal. I just want to mark it up there so that we're aware. 6:25 right now. Market's gonna open in about 4 minutes now. And I think we're good. So I got liquidity marked up right here. Closest level of liquidity is going to be this one above. If you guys want to take it, let me see what the range looks like right now. So 300 doesn't look horrible, but it's just really up to your preference. So the closest level of liquidity is going to be right there up top, guys. If you guys are looking to take it, again, I'm not really going to take this strategy here. I'm going to use it as a confluence. But I'm not really too focused on taking anything other than the momentum pullback scalp. So this is going to be my main strategy. And I think you guys will prefer that anyways, because this one here is a lot more flexible with our trading. Hey, Ben Harwood, morning. Morning, Kaner. Morning, Randy. Morning, everybody. All right, guys, looks like everybody's here so far for the most part. Here's the clean chart on the markup opening price right there, 6:30 or opening time, and 8 o'clock. So here's a clean chart. Here's a liquidity chart. Closest level of liquidity is going to be right here. I'm probably not going to take this trade. As I mentioned, I'm going to focus on the momentum pullback scalp. We're not really going to look for entries until closer to 7. But let me just mark up the tenths over here. I just want to see how the volatility is looking for the day so far. Jimmy, for the most part, it looks good, actually. It's not too spread out. All right. Yeah, so the market volatility here is not that bad. It's actually okay. It's not great, but it's not horrible. It's workable. So we'll see what happens here on open, guys. Market's gonna open in about 2 minutes. Once the market opens, we'll take a look. Here's Vince. Vince took the 1 hour entry here at 5 o'clock full TP. So Vince is up currently 185 for the day. He took a trade last night, it lost, and then he took this trade this morning for the 1 hour entry at 5 a.m. Went straight to full TP for a total profit of 645 off that trade. Nice work, Vince. I don't know if anybody else locked in profit overnight. I think that was it. All right, solid, guys. Market is opening in about 1 minute and 10 seconds. Let's see what happens here shortly. Here's the main chart over here. Let me mark up overall direction too, so that you guys have an idea. If you guys are looking to take some V1 variations, today's overall bias, retail sentiment, fundamental bias, short-term technicals, long-term technicals. All right, so for today's overall bias, let's take a look at retail sentiment. Retail sentiment is currently 68% short. It's a lot of people on the short side. So I think price will keep pushing up today overall. So 68% short, this indicates that 68% of retail traders are currently selling. So you typically want to do the opposite and buy. You might see some manipulation on open to the downside, but I think eventually price will swing back up. 68% short. Let's take a look at the fundamentals real quick. Fundamentals over here as well, currently up 191 points. Very bullish for today. All right, guys, market is now open. You guys can see that bearish drop right there. I think that's going to be short term. I don't think it's going to hold all day today. It might drop a little bit and swing back up. Let's take a look at the short-term technicals. Technicals over here on the short term are pretty neutral. They're like bearish neutral right now, or I'll just put neutral because it's just 1 minute that's kind of slumped like that. Just a lot of manipulation here on open. So the short-term technicals over here, you can see on the 1 minute prices below the pivots, trend meter is red, pivots are angling down. But over here on the 5 minute prices, still above, it's like in between the pivots, trend meter is green. Same on the 10 minute over here, prices above the pivots, trend meter is green, pivots are still angling up. So for the short term, I'm gonna put neutral. And then for the higher time frames over here, I'm going to put bullish because price is still above the pivots On the 30-minute, 1 hour, 4 hour, trend meter is still green, pivots are still angling up. So we're going to put neutral for short term, and then long term is still going to be bullish. But you guys can see this. It's just manipulation here on open, guys. I wouldn't really pay too much attention to it. This is probably going to shift as price continues to, move along, obviously. So we'll see where this ends up, pushing to. There you go. As price pushes right back up, right? It's just manipulation on open, guys. This is pretty much normal. It's nothing too crazy. It's just manipulation to the downside and push to the upside. The reason why I know this is going to correct back up, or that it will correct back up eventually, is because of the overall bias for today. It's still very bullish. So I probably pay no attention to this drop right here. I mean, price will probably come down a little bit, swing back up. And this is kind of what you guys wanted anyway. So like if you guys are looking for liquidity up here, this drop to the downside is actually a good sign, because you want people to chase the sell here so that people will just take the downside. And then when they least expect it, price is going to come right back up. And you can see right there, it's starting to come back up as we speak. So this liquidity is actually going to be a lot better. This is a daily liquidity. So this is our daily 8-hour and 4-hour liquidity. So this liquidity right here is actually a pretty good level. Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty decent level to look for entry if you're looking to take liquidity push. So, I mean, we'll see where that goes. But I'm not going to chase anything here, of course. There's no entries for us right now for well, technically there was a momentum pullback scalp right here. So there was an entry that came up right here, actually. So you can see how price came down. There's a sell signal. There's a retracement right here. The entry was actually right here. I don't know if anybody actually took it, but there was an entry right here for a sell. I wouldn't take it because it's right on open. As you guys know, I don't take entries until closer to 7. So this here, I just wanted to mark it up to show you guys. But this was an entry for a momentum pullback scalp. There's a sell momentum right here. Price started to shift to the downside. Trend meter was red. Price retraced up here. Entry would have been at this level. It would have triggered it and went straight to TP. I mean, not one I'd mess with, but I just want to show you guys an example there for basically the main strategy that we're going to be focusing on during these live sessions. Thanks, Tyler. Yeah, we have some high impact news at 7 o'clock, like you mentioned. It's the Michigan consumer sentiment, very high impact. Basically inflation news for the most part. So we'll be taking a look at that as well. So other than that, the market's kind of just going sideways right now, which is completely fine. It's normal. Closest level of liquidity is going to be up here. It's going to be a high level of liquidity. Other than that, let's take a look at the clean chart. Here's a clean chart. I don't think there's really much for us to mark up here. Not really. I'll mark up the low, but the high right now is I'll mark up the high right now and we'll make adjustments when price starts to shift back to the upside. Yeah, there's not really too much here. James is asking, hey, Sean, newbie here. So I'm just digesting as much today as possible. Do you teach these entries more? Yeah, if you go on the website, James, so here's what the course looks like. Like pretty much all the strategies that we cover are covered on this website, whether they're old or new. I'll send you a couple of videos. I know you messaged me. I'll send you the videos of the 1 hour strategy, this one right here. And then also the momentum pullback scalp right here. I'll just send you these 2 videos that you can watch. It's going to be pretty much explaining those 2 strategies. And again, on Mondays, we have mentoring sessions. So typically Mondays we'll have mentoring sessions where we cover everything in detail and you can ask whatever questions you want. And I'll send you the two main videos right now, basically the mentoring session from yesterday and also the private mentoring session that I had with Anelli regarding these strategies as well. So, all right, James, I'm going to send these to you. And I'll put a thing on the website too, where you guys can see that as well. Yeah, no problem, James. You know, the more that you learn, the easier it'll be for you to catch these entries. So it's just going to be practice and repetition. I do the same thing every single day. It's basically, this is the main strategy I apply. So if you can just master this strategy during these live sessions, you'll be perfectly fine. You'll be able to catch multiple entries as they appear. There was another entry right here, guys. I'm not taking the multiple uses per momentum. I'm just taking one entry per momentum, but there are multiple opportunities here for entry, as you guys can see. The first one I showed you guys was right here because price came down. This candle right here retraced up. We had a downwards direction with momentum and trend. So the first entry would have been, I mean, obviously right here, right? That'd be the first entry for a full TP. There's a second entry right here. I wouldn't take the second entry because I don't take multiple entries per momentum. I just take one. But again, right here, price came down. This green candle right here was a retracement, and your entry would have been at that level right there, which would have hit TP already. So basically, if you guys look at these lines here, these black lines, the black lines are going to be entry. The next black line below is going to be exit. So entry, exit, and it's a really quick movement. Usually happens within like a minute or two, if the volatility is high enough. Yeah, no problem, James. All right, so we're just watching for, we're just waiting for price to stabilize. So you can see right here how price is moving around a little bit crazy. We're looking for price to stabilize. Typically around like 6:45 to 7, price starts to stabilize a bit. The thing that we have to wait for is the news here at 7 though, because it's high impact news. Michigan consumer sentiment. This is going to be in conjunction with the news events that were released earlier today or earlier this week. So if you guys remember, I think on Wednesday was CPI, consumer price index, and then Thursday there was producer price index, PPI, all inflation news. And today is going to be the icing on the cake, basically the end of that news cycle, basically inflation news. This is inflation week. All the inflation news came out this week. Next week's a normal week, just a flat week. Normally the third week of the month is Fed week, but because of the holiday on July 4th, first week of July, I think they pushed it back 1 week. So the week after next week is going to be Fed week, where the Fed meetings are going to happen. So just a heads up if you guys are wondering. That's why the market was moving kind of crazy this week. It's a lot of inflation news. Also, if you guys heard the news yesterday about Ripple, XRP, a judge ruled that it is not a security. So you guys will see. That's why I have Ripple over here open. Big spike to the upside. You know, just because that was announced, guys, I don't think that's going to be necessarily a reason for people to jump into it, because you can see people are starting to sell off here. People just made a bunch of money right here and then they started to sell off. Just because it was ruled doesn't mean it's going to be a stable asset, right? I think it's going to make it less stable actually, because it was actually pretty stable over here going consistent. And now that spotlight's on XRP, you're going to see a lot of manipulation happening for this asset here. So just keep that in mind. A lot of people have been asking me about it. I don't trade crypto, so I don't trade crypto at all, so I don't really follow it as much, but just keep in mind that, you know, whenever there's a spotlight on a specific asset, it's going to be very manipulated because everyone's trying to get a piece of that asset. They're going to try to get in, get out, make money here, make money there. So don't think it's just like a free gold mine. You're not just going to buy XRP and it's going to go straight to the moon, right? You're probably going to buy XRP and it's going to come right down. You're going to get stopped out unless you're like holding it long term. So just keep that in mind, guys. That's why I like US30 and YM, because this is like a very consistent asset. There's going to be some days and some weeks where it's going to be manipulated based off news, but for the most part, it's a pretty consistent wave. And I like consistency in my trading. Yeah, exactly. Daniel said going to have a bunch of bag holders. Everyone always thinks it's going to the moon. Yeah, I agree. Like all the crypto people that I know that have not talked about crypto in like months, if not years, all of a sudden everybody's like all about crypto. because XRP hit. They think just because XRP got that approval, all these like shit coins are going to go to the moon. But XRP is the only thing that's going to move, maybe XRP and Bitcoin, like the main ones. You're not going to see like, I don't know, like someone was talking about like Luna coin or something. I was like, bro, that's not, they're not tied together. Just because one of the main, like that used to be a stable coin goes up doesn't mean all the shit coins are going to go up with it. So just keep that in mind, guys. I know a lot of people are going to get excited, want to hop into crypto, but if you guys want to do it, go ahead. I'm not going to hop into crypto. I'm going to stick with US30. I know what I'm good at, and I'm going to keep sticking to what I'm consistent with. So, all right, price is pushing back up. It's pretty much doing what I mentioned earlier. If you guys remembered earlier this morning, I mentioned this is going to be manipulation on open where price will come down, but eventually it'll correct back up. And that's exactly what's happening here. The reason why I knew this was going to happen was because of today's overall bias. It's very bullish, right? Sometimes you just have to shut out the noise, like with these sells here. I mean, not that this is a bad thing, because whatever, this is the case where right now price is bearish, but if you understand the bigger picture of like where price is going, you won't get caught into this manipulation to the downside, right? That's why I always put up this overall bias here so that I kind of have a direction that I want to focus on. This doesn't mean that I'm not going to look for sells, but I would preferably want to take buys versus sells if I had the opportunity. It's 6:42 right now, so we still have some time, guys. Don't worry, we're not missing out on anything right now. There's entries that are coming up, but they're not entries that I would take because the market is still moving very volatile and it's very inconsistent right now with direction. So I'm going to wait for the market to stabilize a little bit. I'm probably going to wait till after 7 because the last thing I want to do is take a trade and then I'd be stuck in that position as Michigan consumer sentiment comes out, and then I kind of get screwed because price will probably spike in one direction or the other once this news event comes out. I don't know if it'll be a crazy spike, but it's going to move. It's definitely going to move in a direction. So just keep that in mind, guys. Yeah, Crystal said XRP has always been fishy to me. I agree. Yeah, Tommy said XRP and SEC case might just be another catalyst for the upcoming bull run. And of course, to stop the SEC to do this on every crypto project. So yeah, exactly. Tommy, I agree. It's just a catalyst. I mean, it's a catalyst for liquidity to basically pass hands with that specific asset. I know a lot of people who've been holding XRP for like, I mean, they've been holding it for years since the case started. The case has been going on for over 2 years now, I think. So I know friends that have been holding on to it for like 2-3 years now, and it hasn't gone anywhere. It did go up a little bit, but I mean, we'll see. I'm not going to mess with it though. So if you guys have any crypto questions, I have no experience with crypto at all. I can analyze the charts, but I don't necessarily have any, I don't follow it at all. I feel like it's too much work to follow, you know. I prefer to just stick to US30 YM and just make my money off here, because this is a consistent asset that will never really disappear. If anything is underperforming in YM, they'll just swap out the assets. It's just the top 30 stocks in the US. So if the stock sucks, they're just going to swap it out the better stock. So there's always going to be volatility here. It's never going to go flat, at least not completely flat. Hey, Shannon, how's it going? Morning. All right, so there's still no direction here for YM. Again, news is going to come up over here at 7 o'clock, guys. So that's probably where the direction is going to push through. I think price may continue to drop a little bit. And I think the consumer sentiment, let me see if there's any predictions for it. So they're expecting consumer sentiment to be positive. If you guys are wondering, so like, for example, right here, UOM consumer sentiment, last month it was 64.4. And if you want to know what these numbers mean, you can just go over here and it'll tell you what the usual effect is. So it says actual greater than forecast is good for currency. So they're forecasting it to be 65.5. If this is like 66 or anything above 65.5, it's going to be good for economy. That's likely to push price up. And if you want more details on this, you can see over here, it says why traders care. Financial confidence is a leading indicator for consumer spending, which amounts for a majority of overall economic activity. So this is basically just more inflation news. It's the third inflation news of the week. Core PPI, core CPI, pretty much CPI is consumer price index. It's like in consumer spending. PPI, producer price index, is like producer spending. And then prelim UOM consumer sentiment is just like the sentiment of like where people are spending or not spending. So yeah, the news is going to affect the market. So this is what might happen, or this is kind of what I see happening. I think the market is faking out right now, pre-market, or not pre-market, pre-news. So I think price is coming down slightly. And then when the news comes out here and it's positive, it's probably going to come down again a little bit and then spike right back up. That's kind of what I see happening. So what I would do here is, if you guys are looking for price, like where price is likely to go, look for opening price right over here. So this is probably where price is going to push to. If price corrects back up, it's probably going to correct back to opening price. That's typically where price returns to when there's a correction. So yeah, keep an eye out for this blue line right here, because that's probably where price is going to correct to around 7 o'clock. 7 o'clock is, yeah. So we'll see. I mean, liquidity here still didn't get hit. I think that's the case. So this is what's probably going to happen. Around 7 o'clock, price will probably, it'll probably go sideways here for a bit. All right, actually 7 o'clock, so price is already going sideways, right? So price will probably go sideways and then it'll push up and blast through liquidity. So I think this is the trap that's being set up right now. Price is going sideways right here. Price is probably going to push up based off the UOM consumer sentiment. And the thing is, there's a bunch of liquidity sitting right here. So when price pushes through, it's going to push through and then it's going to hit liquidity. It's going to push up even higher. That's kind of what I see happening. I mean, this doesn't necessarily mean it's going to happen. This could very well not happen, but this is kind of what I'm seeing right here. Because market's flat right now. You can see it's not really doing anything because it's waiting for news to pass or news to actually happen. And it's just from experience. You know, I've been trading US30 for a long time now, and it's just from experience. I've seen this pattern play out a lot, where market just goes sideways, and then when news comes out, it just skyrockets. It might even skyrocket before, but I mean, who knows? We'll have to see. Let's see prices pushing back up. It's just in a really big range right now. But again, target price point will be the NYSE open price. It's just in a range right now. All right, so you guys can see over here where price went back to opening price. Whenever price pushes away from this area, the target price point for price to typically go to, if it doesn't recover, is always going to be opening price. The reason why I marked that up was because overall direction here is bullish. So if price gets manipulated to the downside, then of course I'm expecting it to come back up. Actually, opening price was down here. All right. So price is back at open. It's basically like, so you guys can see over here how price came back to this blue line. It's like this drop right here never really happened, right? Because there was like manipulated push right here on open, and price is back to where it was at opening price. So like market opened right here at 630, price dropped down, bounced around, and then now it's back to this area. So it's back at like basically baseline. This is baseline price for today. You guys can see right there where I marked it up. All right, so we're kind of just waiting right now. There's still no direction. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if price comes back down and then comes right back up. But I'm not going to get caught in that mess. So I'm going to wait for the news to actually pass. The news is going to be right here, this red line. So I'm just waiting for news to pass. And then once news passes and market starts to move directional, I'll start looking to take some entries for some scalps. There was another entry down here. I don't know if anybody saw this entry, but this came up again right here. So as I mentioned, when we take the strategy for the momentum pullback scalp, we look for one entry per momentum, right? We had a sell signal right here. We had a red trend meter, prices below the pivots are angling down. This came down, this was the retracement, right? The green candle. So the entry would have been right here. So price came right there. It came and filled it, went straight to TP with like 1 minute. It literally came up, went straight to TP. Crystal said, I took it, but I was scared, but she made some profit. Yeah, no, nice work, Crystal. Yeah, the strategy works fine. It's just, I don't like taking it when the market is still moving kind of crazy. Like right now, it's moving a bit crazy, right? There's no direction. Price just keeps going back and forth. I typically wait for the market to stabilize a bit, which is what we're doing now. We're just waiting for the market to stabilize. Usually around this time. So around this time right here, I actually would have taken this trade. But the reason why I didn't take it is because the news event right here. It's a high impact news event. I don't like messing with high impact news events. If it's low impact, I'm fine. I'll take the entry because it's usually going to be okay. But when it's high impact like this right here, this is where it becomes a bit of a toss up because you don't want to be taking a trade and then it goes sideways and all of a sudden it spikes your stop loss, right? That's like the worst feeling ever when you take a trade that you knew that you could have avoided. And I don't like losing. So obviously I just wait for quality entries before I take anything. So, all right, price is still going sideways right here. You guys can see this is pretty much what we anticipated. Price can go sideways until news happens. And then when news happens right here, price is either going to spike up or it's going to spike down, right? Or it's going to fake out. So what might happen here is price might fake out. You might see price spike down first and then spike right back up. A couple different scenarios there. Zach said he took a momentum scalp variation. What's a momentum scalp variation? Zach, sorry, because I think you're calling it something else, but I'm because I don't think, do we have a strategy called momentum scalp variation, guys? Sorry, we have so many strategies. I might be wrong. So I might be low. Okay, you're talking about the high-low momentum scalp. We have so many entries, Zach. There's no problem. I know there's a lot of confusion because there's so many strategies there. But yeah. No, you're right. Or no, actually, let me see. So high-low. So this right here actually wouldn't be an entry because this candle broke and closed before it, Zach. So it'd have to close on the momentum signal. So if this here didn't close above pivots 1 and 2, then it would be fine because this here would be your entry, right? What you're looking for is you're looking for a lower low and you're looking for a momentum candle to break and close past pivots 1 and 2. So this right here is where the momentum would have to be. Momentum was over here, so it was a little too late. So yeah, you kind of did get lucky, but you were close. I mean, it's just this right here wasn't the criteria. But the thing is, a lot of these strategies here, they line up with each other. So even if you make a mistake like that, you'll probably win either way. Like it's just like a lot of these strategies start to line up with each other. So like, for example, this here, you probably would have missed this one, but it probably would have lined up with something else. Because a lot of my strategies, they kind of like, they piggyback off each other. Like you can make one mistake, but then there's another strategy that lines up with it where you kind of just take that one, but don't even realize you're taking that strategy. Like the high-low scalps, high-low momentum scalps, pivot scalps, intraday scalps, like basically all my scalping strategies, they kind of piggyback off each other. So I don't think this was anything here specifically, but let me see, there's no V1 variation here. I mean, there wasn't really much there, but like which you could have, there's another strategy, but I forgot what it was called, where this thing here would have cut through. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, no, so yeah, so if you said Vincent's, then yeah, that actually would have been Vincent's. So that's not the normal high-low momentum scalp. That was like Vince's variation. Oh, so that's what you meant. You meant the variation. The high-low momentum scalp like Vince's version of it. So yeah, actually, guys, so Zach was right because Vince used to use just the third line. Remember, we used the 1 and 2, and he used the third line right here. So no, you were right, Zach. That was an entry. So that's where it gets kind of complicated, because unless you're like very specific with which entry you're talking about, then they kind of jumble up together. So that's how the strategy piggybacks. If you guys know the high-low momentum scalp, it's this one down here. Well, it would have been this one down here, but since this one crossed pivot 3, like you'd have to turn off all the pivots to really see that. It's this one right here. So yeah, you are right, Zach. That was Vince's variation to it. Yeah. So guys, there's other people in the group, like the strategy that the original strategy was that one, the one that Zach took. That's the one that Vince actually came up with. And then I made my adjustments because what happened was his entries would come up too late sometimes. Like for example, this entry would come up and then it happened way too late, and then you'd have a loss. Like for example, here, see how price starts to pull back? It makes it a bit risky. So what I did is I made adjustments and I started taking it earlier when price would break and close past pivots 1 and 2, not pivot 3. But no, you are right. You you caught the proper entry there. It's just nobody really applies that strategy except for you, Zach. So that's why a lot of people are kind of confused with what you took there. Yeah, I don't know anybody who still applies that way of it, because it's just it happens too late. Like for example, over here, if you took this one right here, you would have lost the trade, right? Because there's lower low, price came above it. This one would have came straight down. Like if this would have closed before like pivots 1 and 2 would have been great, but and also it was going sideways and it was on open. So there's a lot of red flags of why I wouldn't have taken the trade. All right, we're getting close to 7 o'clock, guys. Finally, time for possible entries here. We're kind of just passing the time right now until we get to news over here at 7 o'clock, guys. So don't worry, you guys are not missing out on any entries right now. We're just waiting for this news to pass so that we can start looking for some possible entries here. Let me just scroll up real quick. Yeah, Randy said there was a high-low momentum scalp at 639, but it was at open. Yeah, I wouldn't have taken it on open because the price was kind of just bouncing around a lot. Crystal said too many strat. Sean needs to create a book. Yeah, I think eventually I will probably revamp the course and I'll organize things a little better and just maybe like I'll recreate the videos. But I think for now, because the thing is we're always like changing in the seasons, like with what strategies we're using, main focus is really the strategy adjustments, because we went from like spring to summer and then we had to make some adjustments obviously. And I think now we've kind of figured out exactly what we're going to focus on. I think this is going to be the main strategy like all year round. The momentum pullback scalp, because this was actually my very first strategy that I used to apply a very long time ago, but I didn't have the indicators, so I couldn't decipher what was good and what was bad, like quality from not quality entries. But now that we have the indicators here that I've created, I'm able to identify that. So I think this is going to be the main strategy moving forward. I'll probably revamp the course at some point in the future to organize things a lot better if you guys are still looking to learn the other strategies, but I think this is going to be my main one because this is my very first strategy. It's crazy that I've come full circle now. I haven't applied this strategy in about, I don't know, like 5 or 7 years now. And then it just came back to me all of a sudden now that I have the indicators and I'm able to identify a lot of good entries here. So yeah, no, I'm proud to create a book, Chris, like you mentioned. All right, so price is coming down pretty heavy. I think price will correct back up. This is what I just mentioned earlier. So I mentioned that when price comes closer to news, it's probably going to manipulate and come down initially and then come right back up. So I have a markup right here. We'll see how this plays out. My markup actually played out perfect right here, how the thing was moving. So there goes the news candle right there. Huge candle right here. This is exactly why we didn't want to trade right now, because of this crazy movement. I'm glad the news happened at the previous news too, same exact area. And I wouldn't be surprised if this thing just fakes out and comes all the way back up like we planned. So you guys see this candle right here? This is exactly why I said to not trade until 7, because Take a 500 pip candle right there, a huge wick too, about like a 300 pip wick. Yeah, it's a nasty candle right there. Yeah, pure to say dang, gold just spiked down. Yeah, this is a high impact news event, so not surprised with this with gold. Gold is a direct, it's directly correlated with this news event. So let's take a look at the news event. Let's see what happened. So it was positive, just like I said, right? So this is what I predicted. I predicted it was going to be positive, and that's exactly what it was. It was way positive. So I said if price was higher than the 65.5, it would be positive. And let's see that correction back to the upside. See this huge manipulation right here? What happened is it just stopped everybody out. So everybody that was predicting it to be bullish, it just spiked down super heavy. You guys see that nasty spike to the downside? Whoever was buying here and basically banking on price to go up, they just got wiped out right here. Price came down and it just wiped everybody out who was looking to take that buy. And right now it's still wiping people out. So this is the key right here, because this right here is the manipulation that's starting to lure in more sellers. So basically whoever right here took the buy, they got stopped out, and then people are now chasing the sell. So just wait for this to come down, and then eventually it's going to swing right back up and it's going to stop everybody out on the sell side. So this is just manipulation right here. The news is very positive. There's no reason for price to be coming down. There's like literally no reason. You guys can see the number here is extremely high compared to what it was forecasted to. You know, that candle just pretty much killed everyone, like Andrew said. Yeah, Andrew said, LOL, that candle just killed everyone. So that's why I don't trade news, because if you trade news like that, it doesn't matter if you know where news is going. Like I already predicted it was going to be bullish, right? But look what happened with price. Even though it was bullish, price still came down and stopped everybody out. So when you're trading news, you're basically just gambling. And when I used to trade news, like way back when, I used to trade opposite. So like, for example, if I forecasted it to be positive, I would trade opposite and sell, and I would make a ton of money. But those days are over. That's like, it's straight gambling if you trade that way. It's better to just, so I prefer to just sit back. Like when I know this is going to happen, I just sit back and watch people get stopped out. I think it's more fun that way, right? It's more fun sitting back and just watching people getting wiped out in the market, rather than actually being in the market and sweating right now because you're tripping out whether you're going to get stopped out and blow your account or not. Because there's a lot of people who still trade news and they just gamble because, I mean, it's just crazy. It's exciting. Don't get me wrong. It was exciting. Like when I would trade news and make like maybe like 10,000 on one trade in like 5 seconds, it was exciting. But when I lost my account and just blew my account, it was definitely not exciting. I'd go into the weekend feeling horrible. And you can see right here, price is still coming down. There's going to be a correction though. So I do expect a correction. I think this here is just temporary. Like there's no reason for it to drop, right? Let's pull up CNBC. Breaking news. There's no breaking news, but there should be, based off the news that was just released. Oh, what is this? It says Biden administration forgives 39 billion in student loans for more than 800,000 borrowers. So Biden announced on Friday that would automatically forgive I don't know about this. I feel like Biden's going to do that, and the Supreme Court is just going to strike it down. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yep. So Daniel said only if you've been paying for over 20 years. Yeah, that's crazy. It's the debt loan forgiveness. Yeah. You know, the thing is crazy because every time we have a new president, like they had another thing like that, Daniel, for like people who are working public service. When Trump became president, he was like, we're not doing this anymore. And people who were like in that loan forgiveness who were working public service for like 10 years start tripping out. So they're like, bro, I've been working this like low paying job for like 10 years and you're not going to forgive my loans. Like it's crazy because the elections are happening next year, guys. So a lot of stuff was going to change next year. And we'll see. You know, as much as I don't like Trump as a person, you know, him as a president was crazy because like you can like buy in the market, like whenever he said anything, it was like easy. You could just buy anything and then you'd make money on it. A lot of you guys remember that from COVID. Like during COVID, when Trump was president, whenever he tweeted anything, we would just buy and we would just skyrocket and hit our TP like nothing. Let's see, Maria's asking possible entry or candle too big. Which one are you talking about, Maria? Are you talking about this right here? I wouldn't take any entries right here, Maria. This is all based off news movement. So we're still waiting for price to stabilize. You shouldn't take any entries right now. All this movement is based off news. And I don't know if you were listening when I was explaining about this right here, but I mentioned that this here is all manipulation. So I said price was going to correct back up. So I for sure wouldn't take any sells here. It wouldn't make sense to take any sells here because there's no reason for price to be down here, Maria. The news here was super positive. If you looked at the news earlier, like I kind of just gave an explanation for this regarding the consumer sentiment, how it was forecasted to be positive and it was actually very positive. And this right here is just manipulation on open to stop people out. So I wouldn't take any sells right now. I would wait for the market to stabilize a bit, and I probably wouldn't even take any sells to begin with. I'd wait for price to swing back up because I'm expecting for a price to come back up eventually. If price comes back up and then it comes back down, then at that point, I would maybe start looking for sells because at that point, price would stabilize and we would actually have some sort of direction. But I think price is going to correct back up. You can see right here, it is pushing right back up. So I'm looking for price to push up, confirm the direction, retrace, and then provide opportunity for entry. All right. See, so we got Kenny over here. Kenny just posted some profits. He's currently up 2,680 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. Took some sells right there, full TPs. Great profit for the day so far, 2,600. I know, right, Maggie? 100%. All right, so price is pushing back up. This is what we were expecting, what we were waiting for. So I wouldn't necessarily take it just yet. I need to have a confirmation. So price is pushing up right here and it's going up to like where we're expecting it to go to. So it's having a bit of a later push. It's still going up, but it's having a later push right here. We would need price to actually confirm that it's going in that direction. So we do have price pushing up, but we need it to actually confirm. So I need price to push up, retrace, continue, etc. I do think long-term price will go up, but I think right now price is still being a bit manipulated based off the news from today. They're not going to make it easy for people to just take buys and then have like a free run right here. That's just not how the market works. Sometimes it works that way. A lot of times it doesn't. But right now, so let's take a look at the overall direction again. So let's look at sentiment. Sentiment is still 68% short. Fundamentals are still bullish. Yeah, everything is still the same that we analyzed earlier. So our overall direction and bias for today is still bullish. It's just going to be a matter of time until we have some sort of confirmation that, price is actually going there. So right here, I think price will still kind of mess around a bit. They're not going to make it easy for people to just take buys and then just, have that free run to the upside. It's going to be a bit of a mess. I think price will come down, stop people out, come back up, stop people out, and then eventually it'll go back up. But it's just about patience, guys. Today's Friday. If you guys are not familiar with how the market moves on Friday, Fridays and Mondays are some of the riskier days to trade because on Friday, people are exiting the market. So even though price is pushing up, as we get closer to, as time continues to progress on Friday, when people pull out of the market for the weekend, price is going to drop slightly. It'll have like a sharp drop and it'll probably correct back up. But if everyone starts selling off at the same time for the weekend, then you're going to have a big drop to the bottom side. But price is starting to shift here, so this is fine. there was actually an entry right here. It's not one I would take because there's no direction, but you can see how price pushed up right here. We had the retracement. Entry could have possibly happened right here, but like I mentioned, I was waiting for the confirmation. So if I was looking for the buy side here, it would have blasted right through CP. Buy signal right here. The trend meter was turning green, but it changed red. Retracement right there would have filled the order right here and would have went straight to TP. So what I'm looking for here now, guys, is I'm looking for price to actually push up slightly. I want the retracement momentum signal, push back up again, retrace again. And at this point, this is where I would take my entry for the buy. Because when price bounces like that, I'm gonna wait for it to push back up even further and go straight to profit target. That's what I'm looking for. We don't have it yet, but that's basically what what I'm looking for right now. All right, let's see. Maddie over here hasn't taken anything yet. Same with me. Have not taken one trade yet today. Here's Zach. So Zach actually took the trade earlier. He said could have had 3K if he let the trade run full TP. But the last trade he learned his lesson. All right, so Zach over here took the trade right now, and he basically took a couple trades today as we were analyzing through the market. And Zach is currently at 1,915 for the day. Nice work, Zach. So as you guys can see, a lot of people here are taking trades based off my analysis. I'm not necessarily taking any trades myself, but if you guys can understand from my analysis where price is going, you can take entries wherever you see them. So Zach over here actually took 3 entries, and he's currently up about 2,000 for the day. Nice work, Zach. We have Kenny over here, as you saw earlier. He took trades off my analysis too. He's currently up 2,608 for the day. So nice work, Kenny. I think from Kenny's entry here, it looks like he took the breakout entry. So market open right here, and he just took a breakout to the downside. As you can see the drop right there. I can see the timestamp for his trade. Actually, he entered at 644 and 646. Yeah, Kenny over here took the momentum pullback scalp. So we had the sell signal here. He caught it to the downside, and then he caught another one. Actually, so he caught this one right here. He caught a couple trades here. The first one was right here, sell signal. He caught it as it came down and it filled it, and then he caught another one right after. So that's where Kenny took his trades from this morning. Let's see. Purity sent me a screenshot. Yeah, the drop right there from gold, Purity, was based off the news. So that was the news event that just happened right now at 7 o'clock for the consumer price sentiment. All right, so we're just waiting for a confirmation of direction here now, guys. Now that we have price starting to stabilize here a bit, we're just looking for a confirmation of direction. I mean, it doesn't really matter now. I don't really have a direct bias. Obviously, I would like to look for a buy here, but if we don't get a buy, I'm okay with taking sells now because price is now stabilized a bit. So depending on where price goes, I'm fine with trading in either direction. Right now, you can see price is not really going anywhere. We actually need a retracement signal. So realistically, price is going sideways. Whether you guys can see it or not, they're going sideways between these two levels right here. So it's rejecting off this area and this area down here, and it's only going right down the middle, right here between these two black lines. It's kind of hard to see, but let me see if I could clean it up over here on the clean chart. So this is a clean chart, or clean for the most part. And I will draw structure here so that you guys can see it a bit better. All right, so as you guys can see right here, price, even if before I drew this right here, so before that, you can see price was ranging, but now you can see the range a lot closer. Price has pretty much been going sideways right here all session, right? Baseline price is going to be this blue line. The blue line is going to be New York Stock Exchange opening price. And that's pretty much its baseline. You know, price has been sitting here all morning. This is where market opened. So you can see that price really hasn't gone anywhere. Price kind of just goes away. It goes away for a little bit, comes back to the blue line, pushes away a little bit, comes back to the blue line. And realistically, it hasn't gone anywhere. It's basically at zero. Because in order for it to be either bullish or bearish, price needs to actually push away from this area. So price needs to push away and stay down here for it to be bearish, or price needs to push up here and stay away to be bullish, right? It hasn't really done that. It's kind of just stayed in between, pushes away slightly, and then it just comes right back down the middle. So again, right now, there's no direction. We need to confirm a direction first. So again, if you guys are looking for the momentum pullback scalp, the first main thing to look for would be direction of price. It doesn't matter to us whether price goes up or goes down, but we do need at least some sort of direction here. So basically, we're looking for a sell signal. If the sell signal comes up, that's completely fine. So it's okay if we get a sell signal, we can start looking for sells, but we need to have that direction of price. We need price to push away from where it currently is at, because it's just going sideways right here. So we're just gonna have to keep moving this farther and farther down until price actually moves away from where it's currently at. I don't think there's any other news events for today. So, I mean, realistically, price just needs to follow the direction. There's no other news event until 10 o'clock. I mean, there's G20 meetings, but let's say it's one of the last days of the G20 meeting. So I don't think anything crazy is going to happen. All right, so we're starting to have a little bit of direction here, but let's see if price can actually push through and hold. All right, so if price pushes through right here, we're going to start to have a little bit of direction here. So it's a clean chart. Here's a liquidity chart. I mean, price is still pushing up to that level, but it hasn't really confirmed anything yet. We're not really applying the SR strategy anymore. I might close that window in the future because we're not really using it very much. I couldn't tell if this was a red candle or not. I mean, it wouldn't really matter because there's no direction. All right, 718 right now. We still have some time, just waiting for some kind of direction to come up over here. I don't know how this candle right here closed. Did you see how this candle closed, Maddie? Let me check real quick. I think it was bullish, yeah. So I'm looking over here and it was actually green. So it didn't close red. I was just curious if this here would have been considered an entry, but it's not. This here would be the actual retracement. So we have a pending sell signal right here. But again, there's still no direction, guys. Here's the markup that I drew on the clean chart. It hasn't really gone anywhere. It's pretty much still going the same way. The same zones that I drew here earlier, price just keeps pulling back to opening price. If we get a sell signal here and price continues to drop lower and it stays consistent, then we can start looking for sells. But it's not really pushing away from here. Realistically, if you look at where these wicks are wicking from, I mean, so if I draw, there's another zone here actually. It just keeps getting tighter and tighter. Prices is squeezing as it continues to move along. So there's another zone right here. I'm just drawing where the higher highs and lower lows are. And it's just squeezing tighter and tighter. So you can see the zone here was like a lot wider earlier this morning. So I'll just delete this one because this one's kind of irrelevant now. This is what's relevant for this session. Price is just ranging between these areas. Basically the higher zone and the lower zone down here. and then it's starting to get tighter. So as price continues to squeeze tighter and tighter within this area, it's preparing for a breakout. So the breakout will typically happen to the upside or to the downside once it gets tight enough. Not there yet, but eventually with time. We'll see where it ends up going. This market sucks. I was hoping today would be a lot better than yesterday, but it seems like it's exactly how it was yesterday, if not worse. Monday through Wednesday was good though. So if we traded Monday through Wednesday, it was pretty solid. Everything was moving smooth. There was a direction. Today and yesterday, we've been getting a lot of this, like basically just sideways movement. Here we go with the sell signal, guys. This is fine. If we get this sell signal right here, I'll start looking for some sells because it's finally pushing out of this range. Why is it making me log in again? I mean, I like trading on TradingView, guys, but it's kind of annoying how like the login doesn't really sync very well. I know a lot of you guys have been talking about it. I mean, it's cool when it works, but when it doesn't work, it's pretty annoying. Yeah, I mean, it's cool when it works, but when it doesn't, it kind of throws me off because it's like sometimes I just want to enter a trade and I hit sell and my sell window doesn't come up, and it just slows down the process. I mean, it's fine. I'm still taking the trades on my MT4 as well, but let's see. Gosh, yeah, C6 hit to log out and log back in entirely. James is asking, is FTMO your favorite prop firm? Yeah, at the moment, yes. I've been using FTMO for a while now, a couple of years, and they're the most consistent, most reliable. So FTMO is still number one. The new one that we're trying right now, I use FTMO and MFF. So those are the two that I use. I don't like MFF that much, but they still pay out, so I still use them. The only thing that sucks with them is their execution times and spread sometimes. They're just not as reliable as FTMO. The new one that we've been using is called Top Step. Top Step would be my favorite if there was a copier for it that you can use on TradingView. The reason why I like Top Step the most is because it's an actual futures broker. So we get the futures data here. You can trade directly on TradingView. So you'll see in a little bit, James, if and when we get an entry, when I enter a trade directly on TradingView, it's a lot easier to enter on here versus MT4 because the price is not the same. FTMO and MFF, basically any of the brokers that use MT4, they're using US30, which is not a real asset. It's a mirror of YM. So if you want to trade YM, your best bet would be to trade the actual future. So you'll see the difference. Like when I take a trade on TradingView here, when price hits my price point, it actually fills my order. If you're on FTMO, the spread is so wide that sometimes price will go way past it and it won't fill your order. So, I mean, if you're talking about like MT4 prop firms and regular prop firms, then FTMO would be number one. But I think moving forward, for me to continue scalping here with you guys on the live session, I think Top Step might take the top spot. But they're good in different reasons. So, I mean, I haven't gotten paid out from Top Step yet. I haven't even passed the combine yet because I'm kind of screwing around with the account. Yeah, I mean, they're both contenders. So if you want to trade with MT4, I would use FTMO. If you want to trade on TradingView, I would use Top Step. They're just, they're good in their own different ways. Man, this market is so trash. I was really hoping to at least, so I was hoping for at least some sort of direction. Even if we didn't have a trade, I was hoping there'd be a direction of price, but we've been on this session for like an hour now. There's like no direction. Here's my clean chart. As you guys can see, price is just going back and forth within this area. and it's been going back and forth for over an hour now. We started at 6:30 here. It's about to be 7:30. Price has not really done anything. It's just going sideways. I was hoping by now, at least there'd be some sort of push, at least some push to the upside or at least some push to the downside so that we can at least take one entry. I mean, I'd be happy with just one entry. That's all I want. But I'm not going to force it, of course. I'm going to wait for confirmation, which we don't have yet. So I think realistically, what we're looking for here is if we're looking for a buy, I need price to be somewhere around this area. And then we look for the retracement and then we look for entry. And then vice versa, if we're looking for a sell, we need price to be somewhere down here. Right? That's where price needs to be for there to be a direction. But you can see right here that price is just, it pulls away slightly and then it comes right back. It pulls away below and then it comes right back. You guys can see the center of gravity right here, right? The blue line. The blue line is where it gets pulled back to every single time. So here's the clean chart. If I take off these zones right here, you see how price pulls away? It pulls away and it kind of tricks you to think that price is going to go in that direction. And then it pulls right back. It pulls away, comes right back, pulls away, comes right back, etc. And it's just tricking these retail traders, right? It's tricking traders to think, okay, do you think price is coming down? No, it's going to pull right back up. Do you think price is going up? No, it's going to pull right back down. It's basically just churning traders right now. So, I mean, that's the whole beauty of this market, right? The thing is, we're able to see this, so we're not getting basically trapped into these trades. A lot of people don't see that there is like a center of gravity right here, this middle price point. So like people will chase the sells and then they get stopped out. People will chase the buys and they get stopped out. They chase sells again, get stopped out. Chase more sells, get stopped out, because it just keeps going back and forth. Unless you have like a very, very wide stop loss. I mean, this is why we kind of set ourselves apart from like other trading groups, is because we're not really looking to force any trades here until there's some sort of confirmation. Because the thing is, there's a lot of places here to get stopped out. Like you can get stopped out on the sell side, you can get stopped out on the buy side. But realistically, I'm waiting for a confirmation. I'm waiting for price to confirm up here or for price to confirm down here. Once we have that confirmation, then great, I'll start looking for some sells or I'll start looking for some buys. But unfortunately, the market is just not doing anything. And it's weird because there's news today. Like, it's not like today's just a random day. There's high impact news and the news came out. And typically when there's news, this is the catalyst to push price one direction or the other. It's kind of weird, but it's also not weird because we are in the summer season. So this was expected. But you'd expect at least some sort of direction, right? Because the thing is so say Monday over here, there was direction. Tuesday, there was direction. Wednesday, there's direction. I think this was like the best day. CPI came out and the direction was perfect. If you guys saw my profits from Wednesday, what was that, the 12th? So on the 12th over here, you can see my profits. I was up like 6,280. That was a good day. Tuesday was good too. On the 11th, I locked in one trade, right, 1,400. And then on Monday too, it was also a good day. I locked in, 3,500. Yesterday, I locked in a small loss, like $400, and then today we just don't have anything because the market's going sideways. So I mean, it's really just it's really just patience. So now that we're waiting for price to kind of push around right here. All right, price did drop a little bit right here. But I need price to drop a little lower. So there may be there technically may be an entry right here if there's a retracement, but I need price to drop a little lower. If price can drop a little lower, then I'm gonna start looking for some possible sells here. Drop this level low down below. 700, 690. All right, so price is starting to move now. This is a good thing. All right, but I don't like this though. See how this thing is starting to push up super heavily? It's basically setting up for a fake out. Because the thing is, you don't want to chase this. All right, I gotta see how this candle here closes. If it closes like not crazy, like not a huge wick and not a big candle, then I'll possibly set a sell stop right here and I'll try to catch it as it comes back down a little further. So I need to see how this candle closes. It needs to close below this black line right here. If it closes above it, I'm not going to mess with it. Right there, pushed above it, not going to mess with it. And you need to see it close below the black line right here. Not trying to get caught in a fake out.
Order filled.
Oh, fuck me. I said I'm on camera. Sorry, guys. I set the wrong order. I was trying to set a pending order. I ended up setting. Gotta get out right here.
Order filled.
I gotta get out. Sorry, guys. I fucked up on that order. That was my bad. I set a market instead of, I still made profit on it, but that was not a right order. I fucked up. My bad. Okay, so luckily I got in and I got out with profit, but that was not the entry right there, guys. I was supposed to set a pending order right here. I accidentally set a market. My bad. That was really bad trade right there. Okay, thankfully I made profit on the trade, but that trade's not going to count. That was a total mistake on my end. Sorry, guys. Okay, this is fine. If price continues to drop lower, then we'll just look for another retracement. My bad. Let me see what's here. Where at, Maddie? Yeah, I saw that, Maddie. All right, price has the direction now, so it's looking good. Now we just need another retracement. So the entry actually, it still has not come yet. So the entry still hasn't come up yet. So there's still opportunity here for the sell. There's just no opportunity yet. We're waiting for another retracement. And then once we get that, we'll be able to look for entry. So we're just looking, price is going to keep dropping right here. It's finally moving in a direction that we were waiting for. We just need a retracement. The problem with this here is that price is now, it's starting to be a bit overextended. Yes, it's starting to be a lot overextended. Actually, it's not what we preferably would want under these conditions here. Yeah, then Hart would say you should uphold. Yeah, no, it's all good. There was no entry there, so I mean there was technically a pivot scalp there if you guys wanted to take it as a pivot scalp. But yeah, I wouldn't have messed with it. All right, price is starting to retrace up a little bit. No, it's still not done retracing. Yeah, Crystal said, I don't think Sean knows how to hold trades. Yeah, no, I definitely don't. I'm in and out with my positions. I never really hold trades like that. Because the thing is, like, I feel like when people hold trades like that and they don't have a game plan, it's like all luck. Like you can either make a lot of money, or you can blow your account. And I've done that before, so that's why I don't mess with it. Sometimes I'll just YOLO a trade. I'll just take something and then pray that it'll play out. But most of the time it doesn't. All right, so we have a price right here retracing up. There's going to be an opportunity for entry right here. Technically, the entry has not played out yet. So technically, if this closes right here, if it closes below this line, it's a little too close. Wait, where did my order go? Fuck. I swear I couldn't order it. Let me check my positions. Orders. Yeah, I thought I put an order in right here. I don't want to put in a second order, but I'll put one more in and see if it comes up.
Order rejected.
This thing's kind of confusing, guys. Okay, so I think the order that I put in earlier disappeared. Whatever. Okay, I'm gonna leave it as is right now. I think this is the actual order. The previous one got rejected. Okay, I'm gonna cancel it now. It's just dropping too far down. All right, so this is getting kind of annoying. We've talked about this before where you guys said that there was issues with TradingView. I haven't experienced this. Is my first time experiencing problems with TradingView. But you guys can see that my order, I put it in, it didn't show up. I refreshed it, I put in a second order, and then it rejected it. Yeah, no, it wouldn't show up on the bottom, Daniel, because there was nothing on my actual screen over here. So like it would have to like show up on my screen because if there's nothing on my screen here, nothing would show up on the bottom here on the trading panel for positions or orders. Right, it would fall under orders, but I don't know. I think that thing that scared me for a second because I put the order in. I didn't want to put in a second one because then it would put in like 30 orders. And I think Tradeovate or Top Step only allows you to put in 15 at a time. I mean, the runaround for this or the other way of me doing this I would have to trade directly on Tradeovate, but I don't like trading on Tradeovate because it's like I can't see it on my screen. All right, so we're looking for another reset over here, a reset in retracement, but we do not have it yet. $670. All right, a price retraces to the 70 mark right here. Well, below the line, the entry would still technically be right there at 70. So I'm looking for this to close with a retracement green candle. I don't want it to close too high, but if it closes like slightly below this black line, entry would be right here. Otherwise, entry would be up there. So the 70 right here, I just need to wait for this candle to close. I got to make sure it closes green though. It can't close red, or there's no confirmation of retracement. All right, there's no retracement right there, guys. It was a red candle. Where did this volatility come from? It literally just started coming through right now at the last couple of minutes of the 7 hour. I'll look at you guys' messages and if you guys, I'm just going to keep looking for any more possible entries here. I don't want to miss this because I know as soon as I take my eyes off the chart, I'm going to miss it. Another possibility over here. All right, I got a pending order right there at the 70 mark.
Order filled.
All right, let's see where this goes. I'm in the position right there, guys. For the sell. Watch.
Order filled. Order filled.
I'm out. I'm out.
Order filled.
All right, I'm out, guys. So a trade hit full TP right there. Just a quick little move. Got out super quick. I mean, that was a quick move. Just happened real quick. Fill the order, straight to TP, and we're out. There you go, my MT4 hit too. So full TP right there, guys. Patience is a virtue, man. That was nice. Solid. All right, so I got out right there. Full TPs on everything. It's easy as that. So that's the strategy I'm talking about, guys. This is our main strategy here. You just got to wait for that opportunity. The opportunity comes up and you just take advantage of it. So hit all TPs on my MT4, hit all TPs on my top step. We're good. All right, I'm gonna keep looking for another entry. It's still 741, so we still have opportunity, guys. There's no need to get off yet, but we'll see. If we don't see anything from now until 750, because the thing is, price is overextended, and we have to wait for another momentum signal. So I'm looking for, now that we have this entry set up, let me just take a screenshot so that we can I can send my profits in. But all right, so with this right here, in order for us to have another entry, we need a retracement, right? So we need an actual momentum retracement. We have a sell over here that we took. We need price to retrace up with the buy signal. So this is kind of what we need. We need price to retrace up with the buy signal, give us another sell signal, retrace up and continue down. If we get something like that, then that's where we're going to make another entry for a sell. I don't know if this will happen in the next 15 minutes or so, because we don't have a lot of time left till 8. Again, if you guys have my indicators and you guys know this strategy, you guys can apply this from 7 o'clock up until noon. So you can apply this all day if you like. For me personally, today's Friday, so I'm not really looking to do that. I think eventually in the future, I will be setting up, or I'll plan a day where I will do this pretty much for an entire day. Like I'll maybe in the fall or in the winter when the market picks up a little bit, we'll set like a day like on a Wednesday or something, and I'm just like, okay, I'm gonna be on the chart for like 6 hours, 6 to 12, and we'll just take every single entry that comes up, because we can make a lot of profit off this. You think about it. So I was doing the math with Maddie yesterday. Like I was like, I want to do the bare minimum trading. Like I don't care about the 1 hour entries anymore. I just want to do this. And for example, so for one trade right here, with 100K count on FTMO or MFF, you're going to make about 1,000, right? So I can have 4 FTMOs and how many MFFs? Okay, so we could do a total of 700K in funding, 400. Actually, no, I could do a lot more. 246. Shit, I just did the math right now. My math was actually off yesterday, Maddie. So I was thinking, because I have multiple accounts, right? So I have I could break my FTMOs into 2 separate 100K accounts, and they'll do like 1,000 each. It's like 1,000 times 9 accounts. That's like 9. If I just wait for one trade a day, which is possible, you just want, that's like a 9,000 in one day across all the accounts. Do that times 5. And I was just doing the math. I'm like, okay, if I just take 1 trade a day or 2 trades a day, and they're quality trades like this, and they all win, which typically they will if we just be patient enough for it, this is how much you can make. I could be making like in a week, basically, times 4, that's like 180K a month, times 12, that's like 2 million a year, just taking 1 trade. But again, you'd have to have multiple accounts. Like you can't just have 1 account. But again, for example, I was just doing the math because I was like, I want to do the bare minimum work with trading, but I want to make enough profit to like make what I want to make. So that's why I'm focusing on this main strategy. So if you guys are just joining the live session, and don't worry guys, we're not missing any trades. There's no retracement momentum signal. If you guys joined the live session late today, I mentioned that the 1 hour strategy works good, but I don't like using it because the stop loss is too wide. It's a good strategy, but you have to take enough trades to like basically cover your loss. You'll cover it in a day because you're going to have at least like 4 entries and you'll probably break even or make some profit. But I prefer to just trade this in the morning or even by like one day and just maybe look for like 1 or 2 entries a day. And then from there, just find consistency with this strategy because the strategy is really good. And if you wait long enough, you'll find at least 1 or 2 entries that come up, especially if you're just trading off one momentum signal. So like I did the math with Maddie and the numbers are crazy. Like So for example, if you just have one FTMO account, right? Say, for example, you have one FTMO account and you wait all session for like that one perfect entry. That'll yield you $2,000 in profit, right? That's just one FTMO account. That's 200K. You multiply that 2,000 bucks a day times 5 days a week. So we trade Monday through Friday. You can wait for one trade. One trade's going to come up at least once a day. That's like 10,000, right? For a week, times 4 weeks in a month, that's 40,000 for a month, and times 12, that's 480,000. So realistically, if you're patient enough to wait for just one entry a day, and here's the thing, FTMO doesn't have a time limit on their challenges anymore. So you can literally just take the trade. And the thing is, like, we're using such a tight TP stop loss that it's going to be impossible for you to blow your account. Like, you're not going to blow your account. It's crazy. You just would never blow it as long as you like follow what we do here on the live session. So yeah, well, that's pretty much the game plan. Like, moving forward, guys, this is going to be the main strategy that I'm going to focus on. I'm not going to trade Asia session anymore. It's too stressful. Like, I would take these 1 hour entries. I think you guys have seen it. Like, I've taken the 1 hour entries at like 7 p.m. And the thing is, I'm like stressed out for like 2-3 hours because the trade doesn't hit for like 2 or 3 hours. And I'm worried that it's going to hit my stop loss. Like, for example, over here at 7 o'clock, right? I took this entry right here and it took like basically 2 hours for my entry to hit. And I was kind of stressed out because I was like, I should have never taken this trade. And I still took it. Yes, I did make profit on it, but it wasn't really worth the stress because I was kind of like tripping out on my phone all day with Maddie and Gian, hoping that it would hit our TP. And we were talking whether we want to pull out early or not. And it's just really not worth the stress. So again, guys, moving forward, this is probably going to be the main strategy that I'll be applying. I mean, if you guys are patient enough to sit with me on these live sessions, like, you're going to hit at least 1 or 2 wins a day. And the thing is, if I lose a trade, I'll probably keep trading until I make that win back, because the risk to reward on this is a lot better. If you get an opposite signal, I can pull out. Like, for example, yesterday we lost 4 points, but today I made 10 and I made this over here for like 3 points. So I basically covered my loss and I made profit on top of it. So yeah, exactly. Dan said, for me, the risk management is what sets this new strategy apart from the rest. Great work coming up with it, Sean. Yeah, definitely, Dan. I think this is what we've been working towards over the years, right? I think everyone's complaint was always the risk management. They didn't like the negative risk to reward, but now this strategy has a positive risk to reward, if not better. So quality entries plus decent risk to reward, it kind of makes all the difference, because these entries will come up pretty often. Anyways, guys, it's 7:50 right now. Let me just take a screenshot of my profits. If there's any questions that you guys have, I don't think there's going to be another entry from now until 8. So I think this might be it for the day. Unfortunately, the market has not been pretty smooth for the past couple of days now, but this is normal. We're in the summer, so this is regular for the market to be moving kind of sideways like this throughout the entire session. As we enter the fall season, markets can be a lot more volatile. It's going to be a lot easier for us to take these entries because price is going to be moving a lot quicker. And that's really where we're going to start making, a lot of our profits. So let me take a screenshot of all my accounts for the day. If there's any questions that you guys have, feel free to put them in the chat. But it looks like we're going to be wrapping this up pretty soon. Man, my MFF screwed me again. You guys are going to see right now. This is why I don't recommend MFF to you guys. I mean, they still pay me out, so I'm not hating on them too hard, but I mean, you guys see the profit difference right here. That's crazy. And if I got a green strip on that, okay, I didn't get a green strip, so maybe it was just slippage, but it's a big profit difference between all my accounts. So let me take a screenshot of this here. I guess there was slippage on that trade. So I'll give MFF a slide today. But this has been going on for like a year now. So they're not really. It's not really getting better. All right, I didn't make a crazy amount of profit today, but I made pretty decent. I'll take it. Maddie, are you on here, Maddie? Yeah, so some of you guys are asking how do I enter on MT4? I enter manually. So I wait for it to say order filled here on TradingView, and then when it says order filled, I just hit sell or buy or whatever I'm taking on there. I do everything manually on MT4. I know it's kind of risky, but I do use the quick trade manager. So that's how I mean, I just take a quick trade manager and then I enter the trade and I let it run. Yeah, Patricia said it's going to get worse now, Sean, for MFF. I agree, because now everybody's competing and it sucks. And I mean, it is what it is. It's just the price of dealing with prop firms, I guess. But it's all good. All right, let me take a screenshot of my Top Step account here. Yeah, I got some slippage on my Top Step too. I got slippage on all my accounts actually, which is kind of weird because the move wasn't that crazy. It kind of came down and it filled my order, but it's all good. All right, so let me just put a screenshot over here from all of my trades for the day. And if there's any other questions, guys, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up. Let's see if there's anything else here. So guys, let me see where I'm at. All right, so let me show you what I locked in for the day. So this is the trade that we took here for the sell. Went straight to full TP. I should have got a full TP on it, but I don't know what happened. I got hit with some slippage across all my accounts. So here is all my accounts. We have my FTMO number 1 account, total profit of 1,760 for the day. You got the win right there. Here is my FTMO number 2 account, total profit of 1,460. As you guys can see, there was some slippage there. It cut me back at maybe $300. But here's where the slippage was really crazy. You can see my MFF, I locked in 380. It should have been 1,000. that's a huge like difference, right? It should have been at least a little higher than that, like maybe at least 600, 700, but this is a big difference compared to, I mean, of course, this is a 200 lot, but still, you know, you do 1760 divided by 2. Like they should have gave me 880 at least, or somewhere around that price, like 330, 380 is like, that's a big difference. But I mean, it is what it is, right? I can't complain. You really can't complain to these funding companies, guys. It's, you agree to their terms and they give you what they want. So it's all good. I mean, they're paying out, so I'm not really too mad about it, but I did miss out on like maybe like 400, 500 profit right there, which should have been 880 at least, or close to it. And then here goes my Top Step. Top Step, I locked in a total profit of 780 for the day. You can see the average time on my trades is 26 seconds. Longest trade was 35, 100% win rate for the day, all wins, total profit of 780 for the day off my Top Step. So not too bad. I mean, decent profit, but not exactly where I would have wanted. It's Friday though, so I can't really complain. It's all right. I'll take what I can for today. I mean, this could have ended horribly, but I could have had a loss for today, so I can't really be mad at locking in profit. Anyways, looking at everyone else's profits, so we got a couple other people here who posted profits as well. We've got, let's see, we got Matthew over here, total profit of 121 for the day, all wins. Nice work right there, Matthew. We've got Casey here, total profit of 965 for the day, all wins as well. Nice work, Casey. He took the SR rejection. So Casey over here actually applied one of the other strategies, perfectly fine. If you guys know my other strategies, apply whatever you like. And here's Kenny. So Kenny over here locked in a total profit of 3,180 for the day. Nice work, Kenny. Other than that, let's see what else we got over here. We got Matthew here, some more profits, total profit of 214. He took the sell with us as well, full TP. Nice work, Matthew. So solid profit right there. I like the green strips, so that's the best feeling. Whenever I see you got, even if it's not me, I didn't get green strips today, but you guys got green strips. So I can see that you guys let your trade run to their full TP. So nice work right there, Matthew, on letting the trade actually breathe and hit its TP. We got Dave over here as well, locking a total profit of 37.29 for the day. Nice work, Dave. Yeah, I haven't seen you here in a while. So good to see you back here and locking in some profits. Other than that, let's see if there's anything else here. We got Gion. Gion's done for the day too. He got the green strip right there, full TP, total profit of 2,260 for the day. Nice work, Gion. Yeah, Gion said I'm out. No 1 hour entry for me for the rest of the day. Stress-free, hit the gym and release some stress on his psychology. Yeah, definitely, John. We'll see you back here on Monday. Here's Randy over here. Randy said he took a partial loss when he said a buy stop earlier, but then he did some back testing and he could see where, so he did some back testing on the DAX. He found 1,200 pips US30 trading between 6:30 and 8. Nice work. That's solid, Randy. And Randy over here locked in a total profit of 161 for the day. So nice work right there, Randy. A nice back test. Randy did his own little back test on DAX and he found some pretty good results. So nice work right there, Randy. We've got Vincent over here. He didn't get his full TP due to slippage, but he's still locked in profit. Total profit of 315 for the day. Nice work, Vince. Yeah, so Vince is just kicking off a new FTMO challenge, currently in profit 315. We've got Andreas over here, total profit of 240. He took that sell with us right there for the momentum pullback scalp. Nice work, Andreas. And other than that, let's see, we got Kenny here, 3,000. Kenny again right there. We have Natasha, total profit of 665 for the day, all wins. Nice work, Natasha. And other than that, we got Chow over here, total profit of 810 on his top step. Nice work, Chow. Yeah, you're getting the hang of the top step, right? It's easy when it works, but today kind of freaked me out a little bit because it did freeze up on me. But I mean, it still played out. Johnny's hit almost back to 2% out for the day. Have a good day. Come back to sleep. Yeah, so Johnny over here is currently at 1,831 for the day on his top step account. Nice work, Johnny. Nice recovery right there too. All right, so I think that's pretty much it for the most part. So all right, guys, if there's any other questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Otherwise, we're going to wrap this up. We do have the buy signal right here, but we don't have a correction back to the downside yet. So there's no sell signal. It's getting close to 8 o'clock. There's no room for entry here. So we're probably going to wrap this up just about. Now, CJ said, I guess MFF stands for, man, F your funds. They seriously got to do better. I know, I agree, CJ, but it's tough now because there's a lot of other funding companies that are doing a lot better. Like Top Step here is stepping up their game too. I mean, we'll see. Hopefully they fix this problem here and they have some sort of copier because that'd make a game changer for us. James said, really enjoyed the first session, Sean. Refreshing to see traders trade live. Keen to study over the weekend. Yeah, definitely, James. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, on Monday, we'll have our mentoring session so we can cover more stuff in detail then. But yeah, James, I sent you the video. Check out those videos. It'll explain the strategy that we just went over today. And yeah, I think that's it. So other than that, guys, let's see. Tom over here, some more profits too. Tom locked in a total profit of 2,918 for the day. Nice work, Tom. Took some trades over here, some sells over here off US30, kind of similar to what we took earlier, and some gold trades as well. So nice work, Tom. Glad to see you back in profit over here. We also have Barty, one last profit. Sam Barty over here, total profit of 644 for the day. Nice work, Barty. So guys, great work. All right, guys. So I think that's it. Have a great weekend, guys. Be safe, and I'll see you guys back here on Monday for market open. So, all right, guys. Other than that, I will